Hello, welcome to Miniature Realms. My name's Stuart. Today I'm joined by Richie, host of the Dawi After Dark YouTube channel and Team England captain for Warhammer the Old World.
Miniature Realms is proudly sponsored by Counter-Attack Bases. They stock a wide range of counters, gaming aids and movement trays for multiple game systems and offer custom items to suit your club, your event or even your podcast or YouTube channel. Check out the link in the video description.
Richie, thank you very much for agreeing to come on the channel, and something that I've been meaning to ask you to do for ages, so we can talk all about your channel, Warhammer and Team England today. So how are you doing?
I'm good, mate. Thank you so much for having me. Hopefully I don't bore everybody at home. Today we're going to be talking about some competitive stuff and also dwarves, probably, I can imagine. For those of you who don't know me, I am Richie from Dawi After Dark, which is a Warhammer the Old World competitive channel, which is based around basically me going to tournaments and showing off some of the best players around the UK. And luckily, Stu has decided to support us as well. So thank you so much for having me on, mate. I really appreciate it.
Oh, absolute pleasure. And it's I've got a lot of questions for you, but they're all I made some notes earlier while I was sitting down, shall we say, having a little break at lunchtime. I was sitting down and I made sure I had all my questions sorted out, and I realized that they're just pretty obvious things anyway, so we can kind of whiz through them. But let's start with your background though, rather than go straight to the competitive stuff. How did you start in Warhammer? Why did you start in Toy Soldiers?
So I think I've got like a relatively similar story to a lot of people, actually. So I started playing it when I was a kid. I started collecting, and then kind of just you move away, you find like you start drinking, going to pubs, going to uni, all that kind of stuff, and you fall out of love with it. It goes to a side. But when I was the interesting one, when I first started collecting Warhammer, actually, so I was really ill when I was a child. I was in a wheelchair for 4 years, and I couldn't really do anything. Like I couldn't do sports. I couldn't really do too much, actually. I was bedbound for a lot of my childhood, and my dad would get me like Airfix and different models like that because I really enjoyed painting. Like I used to love drawing and painting and all that kind of stuff. And he come home one day with this box of goblins. Although my channel might be dwarf themed, my first Warhammer models were the regiment of goblins that come out. I can't remember what year that was. I think it was like 95, 96, something like that. Or amazing. Basically, it blew my mind. Obviously, I used to read a lot of Tolkien. So for me, being able to get these fantasy models was it was amazing, and it just sparked this love affair that's kind of lasted a really, really long time. But like I say, when you get a little bit older, you go to college and uni, you kind of your young hobbies kind of go to the wayside a little bit. And then I think I was probably about 21, 22, started to get back into it. You kind of find out who you are again, what you like. When you realize you don't like going out as much anymore. So you're like, right, what do I like to do? And it's, for me, it was that first trip when you're walking through town and you see the Games Workshop and you haven't been in there for a few years. And you're like, right, I'm just gonna have a look. I'm just gonna have a look. And you walk in, you're like, in that spark of nostalgia hits you, doesn't it? And you're like, right, okay, I'm just looking this time, it's fine. Then the next week you walk in again. And you just pick up one model. I'm just going to get this one. I'm just going to make this one. And then suddenly you've spent all of your money and you've restarted your plastic crack addiction. And that was basically me. So I jumped straight back into Warhammer Fantasy. So I think I got back into it at the end of 8th edition, and then I started to play some events when it was end times, and then they killed it, unfortunately. So started to play a lot of like Age of Sigmar and some 40k and stuff then, and then I ended up jumping back into Warhammer 6th edition because there was the Resurrection events. So I was playing a lot of narrative and competitive 6th edition, which was amazing actually. But it was good. Like I've been quite blessed in the hobby that I've been part of some really, really good clubs. So there was the Herefordshire Wargaming, which is a local club that we started here. And that's just amazing. It's growing so well. We started that back in 2015, and it's just a great group of people. Like it's awesome to be a part of that. and just playing in lots of tournaments for years. Actually, I do really enjoy the competitive sphere. I don't think it's as sweaty as people out there may believe. Obviously, there are people out there that do believe that we're all horrible people, but I can attest that we're not. That was one of the main reasons I wanted to start my channel, actually, was to bring the human element forward, so people could see that all of these people that are making lists and ruining dreams are actually really nice people. But yeah, no, that's basically it. I mean, I started the channel, I think it was the October before last, just to show off the human element and also to help dwarf players, because we've been struggling. Games Workshop are making the elder races pay for sins of 8th edition, I believe, unfortunately. But yeah, that's basically kind of my background in the hobby. Started out when I was a kid, had a bit of a break, then jumped straight back in with 2 feet, and I've just been trying to do as much for the community as I possibly could ever since, really. So we've been trying anyway.
That break, nearly everyone has, but it seems to be that way. So you obviously touched on the channel there. Talk a little bit about when you started the channel. How long ago was that? What were you planning to do with it? What sort of started it all, really?
So basically, I started to go to old world tournaments literally as soon as the game come out. So I started to go to events, and I was running dwarves. Just maining dwarves is the only army I was going to play. And we unfortunately were struggling. There was a lot of dwarf players out there that couldn't win any games. We couldn't work out the synergies, because the way to play dwarves had changed so much from 8th edition, where it was a gun line, and that was the historical way how to play the army. And that just didn't work anymore. The cannons had been dropped down in strength. All of the shooting was a little bit less reliable. The cover mechanics in Warhammer, the old world, were a lot different than they were before. So you couldn't play that static gun line anymore. And also the kind of mid units, you couldn't run those anymore. The game had completely changed. I mean, I think a lot of people forgot that it was a brand new game, right? So you couldn't just run the stuff that was good before. Everything had changed. Like the monsters were also a big one. Dragons were a nightmare to deal with. And I started to go to tournaments every weekend, actually. Like, I was loving it. Like, the fact that the square bases had come back, and also that Games Workshop are now supporting the game, it was basically a dream come true for me. So every weekend I would go into a tournament and playing with the dwarves and trying to work out what works. So every week I'd be like, right, so here's my list. And then I'd get smashed, and then I'd be like, right, okay, so I've changed this because that happened, and keep working it that way. And basically I would see all over the dwarf forums and the discords and stuff that the dwarf players weren't doing very well. And there were Empire players that weren't doing very well as well. So I was like, right, I think I need to kind of start talking about this. And I was lucky to be friends with a few YouTubers, and notably at the beginning it was Max from Barefoot Miniatures, who had me on his channel just to kind of talk through a couple of GT wins that I'd had with dwarves to prove that it could be done, basically. And we were like talking through my list and the strategies and stuff like that. And after we had filmed one of these videos, basically me and Max ended up having a few too many beers while we were recording, and we stayed on chatting for a couple of hours afterwards, drinking, and got a little bit drunk, as you do as a dwarf, right? And we were he convinced me to start my own channel, actually. So if you're bored of my face, you can blame Max from Barefoot Miniatures for that. But yeah, we were kind of brainstorming the name of the channel, and kind of like Dawi After Dark stuck. And yeah, no, it's been a fun kind of whirlwind ride ever since then, actually.
Excellent stuff. Well, Max has got a great channel, and I'm not surprised to hear that he was involved in encouraging you. Actually, I've not known him very well, but known of him on and off right back from when I did a heresy podcast many years ago, and he did some stuff as well. So yeah, that's he's always been at the heart of very welcoming gaming, where that's narrative and also looking at more competitive things as well. So no, I'm glad to hear that your channel was birthed there. So your channel sort of has grown over the time. So when did the Team England thing first come along? When did competitive wargaming for yourself turn into a team sport?
Yeah, so basically I'm quite lucky to be friends with a lot of competitive gamers from different games as well. Like, a lot of my friends where I live are on like Team Wales for Age of Sigmar. I've got friends who are on Team England for Age of Sigmar and then 40k and stuff like that as well. So it's kind of always been kind of there. I kind of dipped my toes into the training, but I kind of fell out of love with Sigmar just before I tried to get into that, basically. But in the old world, I was going to tournaments all the time, and I absolutely love the atmosphere of tournaments. I love the camaraderie, and that's just where I have the most fun. Like, I love being at events, meeting new people, putting the names and faces to all these lists that you see online, and playing against the best players as well. Like, I really, really like getting my teeth kicked in by someone who's amazing at the game. That's I'm a little bit of a masochist with that. I just like, if I lose 100 games but then work out how to beat that person, then that's worth it for me. Like, I that's my favorite type of gaming. And basically, there was a small group of us actually, that when the old world come out, we kind of got together and like, right, we need to start the kind of the groundwork just in case like the ETC starts or anything like that basically restarts again. So we're like, right, we started to put together like a little team that we could use for that if that come out, and started putting in like a little bit of the legwork and everything. But luckily we didn't have to take that forward, so all of that kind of groundwork was basically wasted, but it's absolutely fine. So Fred restarted the WTC at I think it was the beginning of last year, a little bit earlier actually. I think it might have been in the December just before. So he restarted the WTC, and he got in contact with some of the 9th age players in the UK to see if there was a Team England. Now, Sam Freestone was a well-known player in 9th age, and Fred reached out to him, and Sam knew that I wanted to try and help start Team England. Like, I didn't particularly have an intention to play on Team England at the time. I just wanted to try and help the community grow, and also Team England kind of get off its feet and get going in the right kind of way as well, because I was really focused on the fact that I wanted everybody to be good players, and also as well, like, English teams in the past have had a little bit of a bad reputation, and I really wanted to try and get rid of that going forward. So if I could help mold a team that were all nice people, good players, and just played in the spirit of the game, then that was something that I wanted to put forward, and maybe go for like a kind of a background role basically. And that's where it all started. Sam got in touch with me, so we started a Discord to try and get as many people in as possible, so we could start voting in the different roles. So start voting in the chairman and the captain and stuff like that. And basically, I ended up putting myself forward as captain. I'd managed to be in a position where I'd actually won the most GTs out of any player in England for the entire year. So I was like, right, I'm going to put myself forward. I mean, if I don't get voted in, I don't get voted in. So it was the entire thing was very, very democratic, a lot more democratic than I think people think it was. So if anybody wants to join the Discord, it is so it is Tau Team England. So if anybody wants to join that, you can help vote the future members of Team England. Every single position is voted back in every year. It's very, very democratic. So if you want your voice to be heard, then please drop in and give us a hand, because it is a community project basically. So yeah, I got voted in as team captain, and then we had all of the applications put in for the different roles and the different players. I think the first year was probably the most difficult, because I had been very centered around Midlands and a little bit in the south with the tournaments I'd been to. So I hadn't gotten to know any of the players from up north. And we had loads of applicants from the north, basically. And it was quite difficult because we didn't know these people. So it was kind of getting to know players and then see how good people are, because the tournament scenes are very different all around the UK. Everyone uses different comps, whether that be like the Renegade comps made by Square Based over Rob and Val, or it was a more kind of hardline comp that was made by the 9th age players. It's very difficult to gauge how good players are, but we managed to work it, and it went really, really well, and we got an amazing team together. So I got in Tom Carley from UK Resin Prints as my vice captain. We got Alex Simmons in to be the team manager as well. At that time, Ed Fawcett was in as coach as well. Well, he was player at the time and then moved over to coach. And then we just got an absolutely amazing team of players, where we managed to go to Italy. We got second place in Italy with a little group of 5 of us, which was kind of like a little warm-up event. And then we managed to win Home Nations, and then also most importantly, win the WTC as well. So the England winning the first WTC was a personal, massive highlight of my life. And anyone can downplay it as much as they ever want, but for me, that's always going to be one of the proudest points of my life, to be able to lead England into a victory. So it did actually finally come home. And I'm so proud of all of the lads. Like, everyone was amazing. It just such great players and such great guys as well. Like, it's amazing. We basically ended up turning into a family, and it's just great. It's, if anybody can ever get a chance to play Team Warhammer, I'd really suggest it, because it's the best way to play. You're just playing the most fun games of your life with a big group of your brothers and sisters, and yeah, it's just amazing. There's no bigger buzz for me. It's great. Yeah, it's just awesome. And yeah, I got re-voted back in as captain. Obviously we still had to do the voting, so winning the WTC didn't instantly get me back in as captain. We still had to do the vote in, but unfortunately I ran unattested. Nobody wanted to run against me, unfortunately. So with maybe next year, hopefully there'll be some more people coming in as well, but we'll have to wait and see for that. But yeah, basically we've got the Six Nations coming, which is going to be up in Stirling, which is going to be great. I'm really excited for this. That is getting run by Pash, the winner of the UK Masters. So if anybody wants to see any of his games that he was playing, I did the live streaming of Masters, so they're on my channel, so you can go and see Pash playing some games. But he's going to be running that. I think he's got some interesting comp decisions that he wants to try. I'm not going to talk about them too early though, just in case he ends up changing them, to be fair. And then we have an event in Italy again, which is great. Like, love going over to Italy. These are also open for non-international teams, so if anybody that's watching this wants to get a team of 5 together and go over to Italy, it's the Old Chilean is the website you want to go onto, and you can sign up, come along, and just have a great time. I mean, there's kind of nothing more fun than playing 5 amazing games of Warhammer and being horrendously drunk on wine at the same time while eating lots of pizza. So it's a great time. And then after that, we've got Leeds, which is going to be really good. And then it's Worlds again. So the road to Worlds is starting for 2026.
So where do you see the team growing to over this year?
So basically, coming into this year, I had a bit of a vision, like an epiphany last year, that I wanted to make the team a lot more inclusive, get a lot more people on board. Last year, we only had the 8 players. We had 2 subs and then some coaches. So we kind of wanted to move that forward and give a lot more people the opportunity to be able to be on the team and to get more people enjoying Team Warhammer. And also we just needed a lot more support kind of in the background as well. Like, it's a lot more work than I could express, actually. So we need a lot more people behind the scenes, and also wanted to give the opportunity for a lot more people to play as well. So we have actually expanded the team to, we've got about 22 people on the team now. So we've got 2 full playing teams, so that we can do home nations with one team, Six Nations with another team. We've got the specific Worlds team, so those are the ones going off and doing international events. And then the home nations team is basically really good players that have played on the UK circuit but haven't been abroad, haven't done the team stuff before. So this is their year to get that experience. And then next year, I've got a bit of it's like a 2-year dream, basically. And that's to expand it to the point where, as we get into next year, if I get voted back in, I might not, but if I do, it's basically that we've got this big group of players that we can then pick from and go, well, this is the best player for this, that's the best player for that. And then also really conscious of the fact that they're all really nice people as well. Something that I'm really happy with this year coming forward is we've got a much bigger coaching staff as well, led by Alex. And also we've got the social media guys on as well. So Mark and David, they're doing an amazing job behind the scenes. And just the fact that we've got that much support behind us as well, hopefully will help us drive to even more success as well. But really thankful to all these guys. Something that I do want to express as well is this is all non-paid work. None of us earn anything for this. We do get sponsorships, but those sponsorships literally just go towards helping pay for some of the dice or some of the t-shirts. We still don't get paid for any of it, and it's a lot of money. Like, it's a bit hard work, and it's hard asking people to pay for all of these like trips abroad playing as well. So it can get a little bit difficult in that regard, but it's worth it to represent your country, I think.
Absolutely.
So you were saying earlier that you used to really watch the competitive scene. Is this true?
Yeah, it is. I used to listen to it first on Heel and Hammer and Bad Dice, and a couple of the Aussie podcasts from back in sort of the early 2010s around that time. And then there were some YouTube stuff as well. I know Bad Dice did some YouTube. One of the Aussie team did a whole vlog, so I enjoyed it. And you've done something similar yourself on your channel, haven't you? You've got sort of a vlog diary style presentation of of the tournament. So if anyone wants to get an idea of what it's like there, they should go and check it out on your channel, because I think it's a lovely watch. You've put it together in quite a, if you excuse the word here, because it can be misconstrued, with a narrative kind of way. It gives a narrative story of your weekend away, I think. And as I was saying before we started recording, that I don't think there is a gulf between competitive and casual players the same way as that is often argued about in Facebook groups. I think that a lot of the competitive players will also really, really love big, casual, fun, laid-back games as well. They can love the lore. You need to see your channel and your armies to know how much you love dwarves. I mean, it's literally written on you, or on you right now on your face. So it's not a case of, like you said at the beginning, sweaty people who only care about rules. It's not that at all. So that's probably why I want to help support Team England and have you on the channel. But no, always been good. So let's talk a little bit about the impact of Team England on you, though, because I've watched your channel right from the early days. And it was obviously competitive focus, as you said, but there's been a change a little bit in what you've done on the channel, and probably the amount of content you put out, because you're busy. So how's being involved in Team England impacted your own hobby?
Yeah, so it's a lot of time. It is a lot of time. So I started out doing 2 videos a week on YouTube, and I was also doing a lot of kind of not travel vlogging, but tournament vlogging, where I would go probably to 1 or 2 tournaments a month, and I would video all of my games, show how we got on, and just kind of show the entire process of the tournament and kind of bring that to people at home. Whereas unfortunately, as captain, I have had to take a step back from singles tournaments. I don't really play in any singles tournaments anymore. I just don't really have the time, unfortunately. So that's been dropped down now to, I'll do the travel vlogs of going to the different countries, so showing people what it's like to play Warhammer in a team's environment and also in a different country as well. So that's something I'm quite passionate about, is showing what those tournaments are like, and just to show how fun they are as well. So I'm quite passionate about that. But yeah, so I've dropped down to 1 video a week now. But something that's I love about what Team England's brought to my channel, and hopefully people enjoy it at home as well, is I'm able to now know and interview the best players from all around the world as well, and being able to get different people's opinions on different rulings and showing how they play the game and their thought processes behind everything, and that's so good. Like, it's the community for me. Like, it's really good. But yeah, I don't really have too much time, unfortunately. Like, we have to get in so many practice games all of the time. Like, I've got we had a meeting last night, we've got a meeting tonight as well, and then once the FAQ drops, we're going to have just loads of meetings scheduled, and then it's the practice games in there as well. Like, we've just organizing now an internal scrim, so we're going to have a weekly scrim against the entire team every single week now. So yeah, it's very full on, very, very full on. It's a lot more work than I anticipated, but I love it, and it's a great honor to be on the team as well. And I think 100% worth it too, I think.
So without giving away your secrets, what's an average week like? You'd mentioned that you're having meetings on Discord and you're playing practice games. How do you do that? Is this on Warhol, or is this sometimes meeting up? So what sort of things do you get up to prepare?
Yeah, so basically we play a lot on Warhol. The team is actually sponsored by Warhol as well. So if you don't know what it is a computer program. It's basically a game where you, like Tabletop Simulator, where you can go on and you can just play a game of Warhammer the Old World. You can play this against friends, or you can go into the Warhol Discord and you can actually ask for random people around the world if they want to have games. So it's a really, really nice hub for you to be able to play against people you wouldn't normally be able to play against. So if you live in England and you've got a friend in Australia that you can't really see and you haven't seen them for like 20 years, but they play Warhammer the Old World, you can jump onto Warhol and give them a game. It's a really, really good like catalyst to be able to try new ideas and to play with your friends. It's great. And it is really good as well. Like, it was designed for 9th Age, but it's been ported over to, there's the Old World specific version of it, which is really, really good actually. It's a lot easier to use than Tabletop Simulator. So if you haven't played on Warhol, please go over and try it. It is great. So yeah, basically there'll be constantly games going on every day between people in the team. Like, I would say there's probably 3 or 4 games a day between different members of the team on Warhol, and then people will meet up on weekends to play in real life as well, just because some of the lists are quite hard to use online. Like, if you're running like a full evasion skirmish lists. Like, you don't really want to do that on a computer, so like those lists need to be practiced in real life as well. But I mean, a lot of what we do is just kind of like throw in shit at a wall until something sticks, right? So we like trying every single combo that you can imagine. Like, even if stuff isn't good, we try it anyway, just to see if there's potentially a scenario where it could be good. So yeah, like I would probably say 99% of my free time, which my partner, Angry Amy, she gets infuriated with me, to be honest. That's why she's angry. Is I spend most of my time either glued to my phone, going through lists or seeing what people are saying or watching other people's games, or on the computer playing myself, or going through different like strategies that the team's going to use and stuff. So it is very full on. Like, I'm not sure that I'm going to be doing it forever, because it does take a lot of my free time. And I've got, in real life as well, I've got a very, very full on job. So it drains you quite a lot, but like I said, it's worth it when you win. 100%.
I can imagine. So what is it you're missing by being part of Team England and all the work you're doing? What part of non-Team England Warhammer hobby are you missing that you're not able to do?
You know what, for me, I think I am just missing going to singles events, I think. But this is one of the things where I'm really enjoying going around and streaming some of the bigger events as well, because I can still go and see all of the people, but I don't have to use my time practicing with those singles lists. Just because I can imagine if someone rocks up with a really strong army, I haven't practiced my list at all, and they go, right, I've smashed the captain of Team England. It's just like, so I don't have time to practice with the singles lists, unfortunately. But going and streaming the events, I get to still go and chat to all like everybody in the singles community as well, and it's just great. And obviously by streaming them as well, I can show people all of the games, so people at home who potentially can't go to events, like whether that be through illness or just geography, or just the fact that there isn't any events in their area at all, that they can see these happening and just see all of the people playing. And it's great. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I mean, I think I would be filling my time with something anyway. So I might as well just be doing something constructive and trying to win with Team England, I think.
That's good. So you touched on their lists about the difference between singles list and team list. And a lot of people watching this, that might not have occurred to them. But why are there differences? What makes those differences? Why do you have different style of lists for singles and teams events?
So basically, the teams events that we play, they'll either be 5-person or 8-person teams. Well, there are some 4-person, but so basically an 8-person's team, which is what Worlds is, you don't have to even consider your worst matchup, because you probably won't play it. Whereas in singles events, you're going to be going into that going, what if I play Cathay for 2 games? What if I play Vampires? And then, oh no, but then I also need to worry about the Viletide spam from Beastmen. So you're thinking at the inception of the list, you're like, right, so I need to get anti-shooting. I need to try and potentially get magical attacks to be able to fight the Banshees. And then I also need MR to be able to deal with the Beastmen. So those are 3 things that you're trying to put into a list and make this all-rounder list that you can try to beat everything. Whereas in teams, you go, right, so my army is really, really bad into shooting. Okay, I just won't play into that the entire time. So then you would create a list that would then be more focused around what your army is good at. And you would, we kind of call them skew lists. Mm-hmm. So it'd be, you'd find the thing that your army's good at, and then you would go wholly into that. And then you would play, and you try to be paired into an army that you're good into, basically. And then the ones where you know you're going to lose because you've skewed too hard, then you try to not lose too badly. That's the thing.
So in that regard, you could design a list that's designed to just draw all the games if it's beneficial for the team environment, I'm guessing.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, that's what a lot of teams use dwarves for, actually, is to get a very stable matchup. Us in Team England, we don't want draws, though. We want to win. This is the thing. So I was talking to Andreas, who is Gaunt Herder on Discord, for anybody who doesn't know. So he's got a German channel called LD3 as well, if anyone wants to see that. He is a very competitive German player who come up with German comp. So we were talking at the WTC, actually, and he was like, all of your lists, they're all killer, no filler. And it's like, yeah, so if you go into it trying to win all of your games rather than to draw, like drawing is a very, very good tactic, but we just wanted to win, basically.
No, it's good. It's good. The football analogy: you're not parking the bus. You're going full attack. So one final thing about that for people that don't follow competitive Warhammer, you talked about matching up. There is a matching up process. How does that work?
So basically, we use cards, so it's a pairing card system where you would put down. So you put them down face down so the opponent can't see them. So you would put down your attacker, they would put down their attacker, then you would flip them. So say you would want to either pick one of your strongest armies or one of your weakest. So you could put your weakest and then pick a matchup that's really strong into one of the other armies and then take that one out. Or you would be going with your strongest pick and then picking an army that they can absolutely destroy. And that's to try and get as many points as possible. So I do cover this in detail over on my channel. I think the best one of this, was I did a full explanation at the Four Nations event. So if you want to see that being done in real time, head over to my channel and I can go through. But it's basically a mini game before the games start, where the two captains basically play a game of cards against each other to try and get the most optimal matchups. When I say optimal matchups, this would be so vampire counts currently are a very strong army before any FAQs. They're very, very strong. And they are very, very strong into armies that don't have any magical attacks and stuff like that. So you would be putting that into an army that can't really deal with the vampires. So say like a Nuln or a dwarf gunline, something like that. So something that doesn't really have too much of a way to be able to deal with them. So if you're like something with plink damage, for instance, so you wouldn't be putting vampires into a potential risky situation. Like Warriors of Chaos have got lots of magical attacks in close combat and also a way to get like a lot of volume of attacks as well. So they could potentially destroy the Graveguard. So you would be keeping your units you'd be keeping your vampires away from matches like that. So it's kind of like this little mini game where you're both trying to screw each other over and get the best matches that you possibly can. And one of the most interesting things that I find about pairings, and the reason that we do the pairings, we have a thing called a matrix, which is before the tournament, you would go through and all of the players would mark how confident they are into each of the different armies. So at Worlds, I think there was hundreds and hundreds of armies that everybody had to go through. So there's a lot of paperwork for everyone to do as well pre-Worlds. But basically, we would be going on what the players had told us, so how they feel that they would go into that army. And a real blessing that we had as Team England is that there was only a 4% variation over the entire weekend at Worlds of what people have predicted into their games and what they actually got in the games. Wow. So you can't tell me that these guys aren't really good players.
Wow. Yeah, that's some statistic, that, isn't it? Right. Well, I'm not going to keep you too much longer, but I thought before we end, we move away a little bit from the competitive stuff. Yeah. If you're able to, if it doesn't give away secrets, what have you got on your painting desk at the moment?
So interestingly, like I know there's people out there that are like, it's just a competitive player. I'm actually going to a narrative tournament next month, which is a one-dayer in Derby, and it's dwarves versus orcs and goblins, and I'm super excited. I love narrative games as well, and I think everybody should be able to have time for both. Like if you're a narrative player, try a competitive game. If you're a competitive player, try a narrative game. You'll have fun. Like both ways to play are completely as valid as each other, and you can have as much fun doing both. But yeah, I'm just kind of getting stuff ready for that. Like I've got a couple of more Slayer heroes to do for the narrative tournament, but I'm also working on a Zuthbar army. I've been going back through the dwarf books and I've almost finished Oathbreaker again. So I was like, right, I need to make a Zuthbar army. So I've funnily enough, since the Old World come out, I've painted up 6 dwarf armies. So just another one. I keep doing different characters for each one. So I'm onto Zuthbar now. So just working out the color scheme for that. And yeah, just having fun. I mean, there's never too many dwarfs to paint, right?
Absolutely. Oh, it sounds great. It's a great answer. And then beyond you winning the Worlds again, fingers crossed. Beyond that, what are your hobby plans past that? Have you got any plans yet? Have you thought ahead? A different army? You ever going to try anything other than dwarves for a change, or is that too much sacrilege?
I think that would go in the book. I think. No, I really enjoy playing the dwarves. I like being the underdog. Like they've always had this since the old world come out, especially they've had this bit of stigma about not being very good. So it's quite nice to be able to try and play against that. And I really enjoy playing the weaker armies in games anyway. Like I'm not the type of person that would go out and just buy the most strong stuff. I like the challenge of trying to work things out and trying to come up with the new formulas of what to do and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, no, it'd just be different kind of dwarf stuff, really. I'm hoping that we get some new arcane journals of some new ways to play. And yeah, just kind of going forward. Like I can imagine there'll be loads coming out this year anyway. Like 2026 is going to be loads of stuff. Like I can imagine Kislev will come out, which I will probably buy as a painting project. I probably won't play it, but I'd love to paint all of that stuff. I was also really considering doing. Don't get me wrong, like I love all of the armies in the game. It's just I love playing dwarves. But what I was thinking is making like a big diorama by having like a 2,000 points Orcs and Goblin army and a 2,000 points Skaven army, and then having them on in like a big shelf with some dwarf armies and kind of making a big diorama, which I was pretty keen on. Like I'd love to paint some of the old Skaven, you know, like the 6th edition stuff. I'd love to paint all of that, but it's just kind of hunting down all of the old models, isn't it? Is the problem?
It can get pricey, yeah.
Yeah. What about yourself? What's on your painting desk going forward?
At the moment, I've got some Manan's blades for Throne of Skulls doubles at the end of the month.
Oh, nice.
That's all I've got left to finish now before the event. So it should be all right. 2 weeks, all right? Should be.
Yeah, you'll be fine. You've got this.
Should be fine. He just says as he gets struck down with something, but no, that's what I've got at the moment. Thank you so much for your time today, and I think we're going to plan to have you back on again at least once, probably more times throughout the year, dipping into your England plans and progress, because it's something I'd like to keep in touch with and talk to you rather than just follow it as well. So thank you very much. Is there anything you want to shout out before we let you go?
Just to say thank you so much for having me on. Thank you so much for supporting the channel. I love your channel, by the way. I'm sure everybody at home can attest to the fact that it's a great blessing to have you on the YouTube sphere in talking about everything old world, and it's great for you to have us and supporting the team as well. So we're really thankful to that too. If anybody wants to see my channel, head over to Dawi After Dark. We have a open Discord link as well. If you want to join the Discord, come say hi. I'm usually around anyway, so if you want to see me playing dwarves, or if you want to see any of the top competitive players from around the world chatting about what they like to play, then head over, and yeah, I'm sure they'll all be over onto this beautiful channel as well soon.
Thank you very much again to Richie for joining me and talking through all of his experiences so far as Team England captain, and some of his experiences with his YouTube channel as well. Definitely check out his YouTube channel if you haven't already. I will pop a link in the video description, and go and check out all of those videos around the Team Warhammer stuff. I find it really interesting myself, and if you've never encountered it before, never looked at it, hopefully you will find it interesting too. Like I said in the video, I genuinely believe there aren't two opposing camps of different kinds of Warhammer players. Narrative and casual players and competitive players are often very much the same person. Of course, there'll be people that only like one different type of Warhammer, but there's so many crossovers and so many members of that Team England team, or people interested in the competitive scene and Team Warhammer, often are really interested in the lore and interested in their armies and things as well, and also play the game very much in the way that I talk about it on this channel. If you've enjoyed the video, please give it a like, drop a comment below. As always, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. If you're new to the channel because you've come over because of Richie, I don't really talk about the top tournament stuff, but I do talk an awful lot about lore. I do talk about reviews and new products and things as they come out, and I do a lot of hobby and painting and things as well, and there's lots of other games on the channel as well, so do check those out. If you'd like to support me and the channel, please do check out my Patreon. Thank you to all my existing patrons. I couldn't keep doing what I do as often as I do without your help, and I really genuinely appreciate it. And also check out the channel sponsor, Counterattack Bases. Loads of custom dice, loads of cool counters and useful gaming aids for many games, including Warhammer the Old World. But thank you very much for watching. Take care, and I'll catch you soon.